credentials has not been tested in the crucible of a jury trial. I understand the public's desire to know the facts. When family members have pressed me for information. Why are we reluctant to share the details of the investigation itself and comment on the case? Because I want to ensure a fair and impartial trial. I became a prosecutor because of my love for the ideals of this great country and the principles embedded in our Constitution. The free exchange of ideas and opinions is critical to this great American experiment, but so too are the protections afforded to the accused found in the 5th and 6th Amendments. The right against self-incrimination, the right to a speedy and public trial, the right to the effective assistance of counsel, the right to confront one's accusers, and the right to compel the attendance of witnesses. And perhaps most importantly, under our Constitution, the accused is presumed innocent until we, the state, prove to an impartial jury of defendant's peers his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. That jury cannot rely on our allegations, on what they hear in the news, or on what they hear from a public official. The jury is the sole trier of fact, and they will ultimately determine those facts based on evidence a trial judge has determined is admissible. Again, as prosecutors, we bear the burden to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. But make no mistake, we welcome this burden. I'd like to now introduce my trial team who will be charged with prosecuting the case. This is a veteran and expert team of some of the state's best trial attorneys. Chet Brunander, who is one of my 2 chief deputies, Ryan McBride and David Sturgill on the far right there. And those 2 were very much involved in preparing search warrants, did a phenomenal job, worked day and night to see that accomplished well after Robinson was taken into custody. Also, Lauren Hunt, she is one of our special victims prosecutors, and Chris Ballard, my 2nd chief deputy, who will be handling motions. I'm going to explain just the procedural steps. We're not a grand jury. We don't have a grand jury system like the federal courts do. It's a preliminary hearing system. So the arrest and filing of the criminal information are merely the first steps in the criminal justice process. Today at 3 p.m., the defendant will appear before a judge in the Utah 4th District Court for his first appearance to be informed of these charges and to ensure that he has an attorney to represent him. The hearing will be brief. The judge will conduct that first appearance virtually via WebEx. This is not unusual. In the 4th District, all felony first appearances for defendants who are in custody are held virtually. A link to that hearing is available for media on the Utah State Court's X account at Utah State Courts. Now, following defendant's first appearance, he will be entitled to a preliminary hearing. At that hearing, the state will be required to show probable cause that defendant committed the crimes. The purpose of the preliminary hearing is not to determine guilt, but simply to assure the court that the prosecution has enough evidence to proceed to trial. If a judge finds probable cause and binds the case over for trial, an arraignment hearing will be held. At that hearing, a judge will again inform defendant of the charges against him and require him to enter a plea to each charge. The next step following the arraignment is an opportunity for the parties to file any relevant motions and then ultimately the trial itself. This case has generated a tremendous amount of interest across our nation and even the world. The public's desire for information is understandable, but it bears reiterating that this case will be tried in a court of law consistent with our Constitution, not the court of public opinion. Thus, we will only discuss the case with the press occasionally. It will not be a day-to-day or even week-to-week occurrence, but we will only do so in a manner as not to jeopardize the fair trial process. Before I conclude, I want to express my appreciation for the tireless work of our local, state, and federal law enforcement officers. They have an extremely difficult, dangerous, and often thankless job. I'm proud to acknowledge the exceptional work they do every day, and particularly their work on this case. It was truly a marvel to witness. Their skilled work and dedication have brought us to this point. I'm also grateful for the leadership demonstrated by Bo Mason, the Commissioner of the Utah Department of Public Safety. FBI.
Well, I guess he's just thanking people now, but holy shit. Sounds like he, wow. They got him. I mean, it's a whole lot of evidence.
Sounds like they got the leftist gay guy that everyone suspected and that everyone said. It's like, it turned out to be true.
Yep.
Literally.
It wasn't a Groyper. It was somebody who, like he said, the family had the text messages. This guy wasn't homosexual. Wow. So all of you people, we just got the receipts. It's not a Groyper. It's not the first right. You know, I know there's at least one retard in here who was trying to say that, but he just dropped the receipts. This is a far left fag that was very angry because Charlie was a Christian and liked to say how it is sinful to engage in sodomy. He didn't make it a sin. It's already a sin. He's not Jesus. You can't decide whether or not it's a sin, but it is a sinful, and people are mad about that.
They didn't say he was
somebody
a
shot him.
leftist. They didn't say he was a leftist. They said
Yes,
he
they
was
did.
moving more left.
Oh, you're
Well,
such a
geez.
dumbass.
Yeah. See, but hold on, guys. This is an amazing case study, and some of you guys already know this too. For the last several years, I'm talking about probably a decade, these people are just detached from reality. You cannot get them to move or change their fucking mind, no matter how deep or credible the information is. There's nothing gonna change them. They want to believe what they believe. That's it. So this fucker is gonna leave, like a great deal of left, is gonna leave, not changing their mind. They don't give a fuck. The conspiracy theories and made up beliefs is more valuable than actual proof and evidence. Go fuck yourself, Othello.
They said he was moving more left.
They said the same shit.
This has nothing to do with white supremacy.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It took 1 year.
That's everything
As the father said, it took 1 year of his son becoming more left-wing for him to say, I'm willing to commit extremism, murder, assassination.
White supremacists.
Tell me one Groyper, right? Because everyone said it was a Groyper. What type of Groyper killed someone?
The Groypers are not, they're not racist. The Groypers are not racist.
Yes, they are, you fucking idiot. I literally have been talking to them for fucking years in private chats. Like, Jesus Christ, they are absolutely fucking racist. Like, you're so stupid.
PP, what's a Groyper?
It's a follower of Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, they are
America
racist.
First pack.
Look it up. Yeah, they are definitely racist. But I mean, here's the thing though. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, the racism thing, that's a white issue. You guys gotta reconcile that shit. Your children are gonna hate you for it. But here's the thing. It doesn't matter. Left or right, they don't like niggas. And after the situation, guess what? There were threats to HBCUs. And now black guy, from church at a college
What
campus.
the fuck does that have to do with anything? A black person
There's
hangs
a lot of-
himself from a fucking tree?
Listen, check this out. It's
We're not even like the Amish game. We're not even talking about that shit. Hold on, he just played a whole press conference and you won't say nothing about it.
It's the issue is it's ironic that shit comes on the heels white Americans' backlash to black Americans' approval of what the fuck happened.
No one gives a fuck about that situation. No one gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck.
There's even black Americans. There's even black Americans that don't even know what happened, right?
Idiot. No one
Do
gives a fuck about that.
you know how many?
You just get emotionally triggered.
Not
I
everyone.
literally said there are black Americans that don't even approve of
Has
that.
nothing to do with this. You just heard the DA talk.
Listen, dude. Listen, I don't care. I mean, you guys kill each other all the time, just like we kill each other. You don't want to deal with the issue of racism, but this is what Charlie Kirk
You
is
know what?
for.
This isn't racist. Shut your ignorance.
It absolutely is, and you will reconcile with it. The thing is, we don't have to make you do it. Your children.
No, it's not. It wasn't racism because hold on a second. No, this is bullshit.
What's up?
So, okay, hold on, Sean B. So, no, this is bullshit because first of all, I made fun of Charlie Kirk all the time. I thought he was a Zionist cuck. I thought he never went hard enough on the, when it comes to like white identity. There's a lot of things. I mean, not a lot of things, but there's things I definitely, I felt a certain way about him, and there was other conservatives that did as well. Now,
I never heard you talk shit about him.
well, I didn't really. He never really came up.
And we've been on the app. I mean, baby, we've been on the app like 4 or 5 years ago. Like, I never heard you say shit about him.
Sure.
Can I chime in real quick?
Yeah, you can go right after me.
Yeah,
So
go
like,
ahead, man.
I was gonna say, but he was not a fucking racist. That was why people further on the right criticized him. To sit here and say he stands on racism and all of this shit. No, he didn't. But because he could mention, some things that it might offend the sensibilities of sensitive, fragile, black people. Okay, I mean that doesn't make you racist at the end of the day.
Clean it up.
No.
Yeah, that's bullshit. I could play the sound bite, bro.
Okay, cool.
Well, go ahead, Othello.
Yeah, he had to clean it up.
Well, no, shut the fuck up, Othello. Adrian gets to go.
Yeah. I just have a couple questions, man. Like, well, for one, since when did Goipers, become, when did Goipers get into relationships with trans people, or even cohabitate with trans people?
I can show you
Or
a link to
sympathize,
a right wing They
that
still
wasn't a
listen.
cue to start talking.
time.
That wasn't a cue to start talking.
Transporting.
Othello, shut the fuck up and let Adrian finish.
This is crazy.
People like him are like why people become like. There's no way. I want to call him the N-word, like because that's exactly how he behaves, and I'm not the one who moved you down. Like you make people racist, kind of like how Brad made that comment about how you look bad you make Jews look bad. You just make black people look bad. You're very obnoxious. But go ahead, Adrian.
Yeah. Since when did Reuters become sympathizers of trans people and their issues? Never known that to happen. Never known that to happen. To about the HBCU shit. How do y'all even know those white people that was making those threats? Right? Because we do know that there are some black people out here that will stage a hate crime, make it seem like people did it. There are thousands of documented cases. I mean, shit, one of the most famous ones was Justin Smollett. He staged a goddamn fake hate crime. A lot of people know that shit. Another thing with the HBCU shit. We don't even have any credible outlets reporting on this. We just see people online saying this shit, and it's just a narrative that is running, right? We don't even know the days of white people or anyone has been charged for this shit, for making these threats against HBCUs. And another thing, black people, if we're gonna say, hey y'all, get the fuck out of the way. It's white people fighting with each other. This is not our fight. Well, then we need to keep that same energy and stay out of it and stop antagonizing this shit then. Because once you become an instigator of some shit that has nothing to do with you, you can't get mad when you get popped out. You can't go screaming victim. Now that they're making threats against HBCUs, well, I thought y'all said stay the fuck out of white people's business. Okay, cool. You can't play the instigator and a victim at the same time, black people. Now I gotta stop doing that shit. If you gonna stay out of it,
absolutely.
bro, you need to chill. If you gonna say stay out of it, then stay don't say shit about it then. Mind your fucking business. And the last thing, black people being hung right now, guess what? Y'all can't say that that's white people doing it if y'all don't have any fucking proof. Because honestly, me coming from the community that I came from, the activist community here in Ferguson, look up a woman by the name of Elizabeth Kennedy. I know her personally. Her son hung himself from a tree in their yard. And motherfuckers went and blamed white people and said this was a fact, when really he was fucking mentally unstable and he killed himself. They tried to blame white people because they couldn't come to grasp the idea that this nigga killed his fucking self. So y'all gotta stop this bullshit. If you don't have fucking proof of blaming white people for the suicide of a mentally ill or mentally unstable black person, because we don't talk about mental health issues in the black community enough. So because he's hung himself, that does not mean that a fucking white person did that shit. And y'all gotta stop pushing that goddamn narrative. Nah, I'm done.
Also, on the HBCU things, a lot of people are conflating things because what happened prior to that was a young girl who was stabbed on a subway by a black man who said, and I quote, "I got that one, bitch." So there's a lot of things that are going through, like the protest in San Francisco was actually organized and orchestrated on the foundations of Florida.
Right. He got dealt with. Right.
Who got dealt with?
Yeah.
Who
The
got
guy that did the shit on this
He's out in South Street right now.
Nicole Brown, he's in custody, that's all.
He got
No,
arrested.
he's in a. So for those of you who don't know, if you go to, if you're in county jail, you go to a county medical facility, and if you go to the county psychiatric hospital, which I'm sure that's where he is, those are locked down like a jail. You can't have like a phone. You can't. It's basically super secure.
Got a room in the street.
Yeah.
So how is that out free, Brad?
So
I
is that,
wanted him in prison.
Brad doesn't
sit
fucking
around
know.
the toilet and share showers with a bunch of other people. I wanted him to be in cornholes.
Yeah, the only problem with that is that when you have a diagnosis like schizophrenia, which he already has, in order for there to even be a trial, they have to do their best to restore him to competency. Otherwise,
Right.
what will happen is if he's found not competent to stand trial, they won't try him. And then they end up having to civilly, because he poses a danger to the public, he would get civilly committed to a state hospital, which he could end up there for the rest of his life. So that's why they have to do it.
And that's the truth. So here's the thing, though. To Adrian's point,